Let's move it to Turf Moor, mate. Burnley 2, Tottenham 5. Another hat-trick. It was a day of 3 hat-tricks for Evan Ferguson, for Earle and Heilman's son. Sonny getting his goals. Played up top, actually, Rob, which was interesting. No Richarlison in the team. So played him as a central striker, which was interesting. We weren't quite sure how that was going to go. But he's produced the goods again. Let's talk Tottenham and Postecoglou, because you've talked about turning up the dial. I suppose the first probably real negative press he got this week was when he made 9 changes in the League Cup, Rob, and Spurs went out. And I think some people feel that Spurs should be a team who takes that League Cup a little bit more seriously. It should be a silverware. It would start his reign. But he answers that question with a good win against Burnley. The league form's been really good. Well, the 10 points from the 4 games so far, and it kind of feels a very different football club, Tottenham, to me right now, mate, to what we've had over the last few years.
Totally different, Rob. Totally different. And I think you're right to bring up the League Cup loss, because I remember reading about it. I didn't see that game, but it's like, Ange has got his first kind of little bit of a knock and stuff. And the quote was like, and it's quite a big one to get knocked out of that League Cup. Of course, when you looked at the team, it's like, well, maybe that's why. I think he said since, Rob, that he's just got to look at other players in the squad. He needs to see them in a fully competitive. He hasn't been there long. He needs to get these players need time, minutes, etc., etc. So that was a bit of a not a great moment for him, if you like. But I mean, when you look at the team, Rob, and how it's different, I mean, he's totally changing it. I see that Solomon played, didn't he? Solomon played on the left side where Son played before. He assisted once, and I got to say, Heilman's son, Rob, is at number 9. I know Ange said afterwards, like, he's got all the attributes that I like from my striker, from my number 9. Everything about the pressing, about the dropping in, about the goal scoring, about linking play. I think he's still tweaking. He's still trying to find his best way. But it's funny, Rob, because again, it was in that window where games going on, and I see that did they go behind in this game? They
went 1-0 behind, didn't they?
The
South African
and then quickly it's 1-1
back.
And it's at the point now where you check your scores and stuff when you're watching a game and checking all the other scores, and I'm not surprised. 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what Spurs are like now, and that attacking dial is turned right up. And there's going to be times where they can see goals. To some of the teams that you might not expect them to play. And Burnley getting 2 goals against Spurs, but they got 5. So I know that the Tottenham fans are absolutely buzzing with this guy. Again, like, it's funny, Robin. We mince around our daily lives and stuff. Whoever's doing well, I mean, they're smiling. I went out with some friends last night, and they're flipping, they're beaming. I've got my Tottenham back, and whoever's up at the time, they're so happy, and it's so different to Tottenham. I mean, all that being said, we all know, and this is famous for Tottenham, that they shouldn't be getting too carried away.
Not yet.
What could possibly happen? Not yet. But given the changes, Robin, given maybe the slightly underwhelming appointment to some people that didn't know much about this guy, it's a pretty remarkable start. And given the amount of changes to the lineup and the amount of the difference in the style of play, it literally doesn't get any more than a Mourinho, Antonio Conte reactive back foot, everybody behind the ball, to a incredibly attack mind. That, I mean, it shows you the ability of players to react to a coach, and the importance of a coach and his message and his style. And there's, the coach has a huge influence over teams, obviously, and we're seeing it at Tottenham. And I mean, who doesn't love to watch a team that attacks and scores a ton of goals? So they're a brilliant story right now.
You know what I'm slightly sad about is that the all or nothing that we saw on Spurs, they aren't doing one now, and we've seen behind the scenes with Postecoglou what's going on in the dressing room, because I bet you it's a completely different place to some of what we saw in the past. And as you say, he's definitely turned it around and given them just a bit of a purpose and a enjoyment, I think, about the football again at Tottenham, which is so important. Just to move on quickly, mate, Burnley. not quite been the sort I thought from them. Champions in the Champions League. Only lost 3 games in the Championship all last season. They've lost 3 already this year. Conceded 11 goals. That's most in the Premier League. Scored just 3. Obviously, Vincent Kompany is a hero and a legend in those parts for what he's done and gone in the football club. But a little worrying, Rob. I've felt that I thought of the promoted teams, they would be the one, or will be the one that had the best chance of staying up. I've been a little disappointed in them, I have to say.
Yep. Yeah, I think so, Rob. And I think what we're coming to terms with now, the reality of promoted teams, Rob, and it happened again this season, is that the team that gets promoted to the Premier League is way different to what they have when they get into the Premier League. All those players, lone players, go back. Man City, like Sheffield United, they're all losing players. I mean, of course, the biggest one was Nottingham Forest. They lost like the whole, almost it felt like the whole team. We've had that, particularly Sheffield United. He moaned about all his attacking players had gone. So what you're seeing this year, and I don't like it, is that promoted teams are having to start again in some ways and build a new team, like half of the players. And Burnley's another one where you got to try and find
But in a strange way, Rob, it's a really good point you make. I said to Rebecca, I almost feel like the team he had last season was better than the team he's got now. Yeah, become grooved and they're happy and they get, of course, they get confident because they're winning games at that level. But no, you're right, and it's hard, isn't it? I mean, it's hard to make a new team, signing players that you don't know whether they're going to be high enough level. Sign players that come into the Premier League, they want huge high wages, and that's a problem. And it's like it's a whole new thing, and I don't like it. Whether they've got to restrict the loan rules for teams outside all teams, maybe to restrict the loan rules, only have a fewer number of loaned players. I don't like it, mate. There's so many things I don't like about it. Like, why does some of the City boys and the Chelsea players go to certain clubs in the Championship and not others? Is it fair that Middlesbrough or other teams can't benefit from a blimmin' Premier League reserve team player to help you for that season to get promoted? Relationships
and then they go
and connections and networks. If you know somebody and they can help you out, I know. I don't like it. A discussion for another podcast, my friend. I feel coming on. Disappointing result for Burnley. Great stuff for Tottenham.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock. And be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you there.